YouTube, it's me, Carrie. I'm back again for another story time or another answer to a question. I'm receiving so many questions on like how did I stay married? Why did I stay married? Is it worth it? So I guess I'll talk about, is it worth it? I believe that for every person we know, every woman we know what we can and cannot take. We'll start there. If personally, like if you have a hard time with forgiveness or governing your actions while you're working on forgiving, because some of us could be, gangster about where it's at, like snapping off and going ham, or if your pride can't take it. Like, remember the other video I spoke on, I did not know how people were going to deal with me staying married. What I look like to other people. Do I look stupid to other people? That's a point of if it's worth it or not. Because if you are going to deal with how other people think about you, whether it be family, friends, church family, cousins, your spouse's family, all of that plays into whether or not you can deal with resurrecting your marriage. Because it takes a lot of humility to receive someone in that has hurt you. But look, like I said yesterday, Beyonce, with Lemonade, she had the ability to put away her hurt, her pain, what she initially was about. Let me go to work and just work this off of me. Let me, be the mom of me and my daughter. We gonna be good. You know what I mean? And the very one that hurt her had to become her healer. You have the ability to you have to have the ability to allow your spouse to be your healer. So if you're not going to leave room for that, I don't know if it's going to be worth it. The next thing is I had to consider my children. I love my Oompa Loompas. Like, with all I have, I carried them. I knew who they were as people before they got here, just by the way they behaved in utero. Like, my middle daughter, I knew she was going to be strong-minded because I could not keep her off of my right-hand side. Like, and that's the side I sleep on. Like, you're not going to take over my life. And that she did. Like, I would try to move her, and she would still, like, move her little self right back over there, like, yeah, well, you're going to adjust while I'm here. I knew that my son would be a very compassionate person, a very musical person, because if I had any music on in the car, he was kicking and thumping to the beat. And to this day, he plays the drums. And he's very compassionate. And my last daughter, determined. Another determined woman. I always say that my youngest one, my 3-year-old, like, she has the will to survive, the will to fight, the will to thrive like I've never seen. Like, her human spirit is very, very determined. So I have these 3 children. I love them. I love their future. I love their past, and I love their present. And I know who they love. I know who has their heart. All 3 of my kids are daddy's kids. So I have to consider more than my pain in that moment. Because if I didn't consider their pain or the potential of their pain, I'm just not sure, how everything would turn out for them in their future. Because again, like I said, I love my kids, and I love their past, their present, and their future. I know whatever I do is going to negatively or positively impact their future. I did not want that for my kids. So that was a plus. Me hearing the voice of God in this matter was definitely a plus. Like, I have my own prayer life. I love God. Not that because I've been raised in a church, because I've been in a church system all my life. No, I love God because I encountered God on my own. My parents did not have to force me to love God, because when I cried out to God when I was young for deliverance and for rescue and for healing, He did just that. So I love God because I love Him, not because I'm hinging my relationship because I was raised in church. No, because I would have been just like normal kids sitting there like, I'm sleepy. What's happening? Can we go home? No, because when I cried out to him when I was 7, he delivered me. So I love God because I love him. And so if he says, look, don't divorce, don't separate, don't stop your ministry, I will restore, I had no other choice but to trust him. I have a video on here that's like 2 months out of the adultery, and I was broken. And I remember saying in that video, and it's actually hard for me to see that video, because when I see that video and I see how much pain that's in my face and me trying to be strong and the tears are just flowing, I hate to see that day, know that day existed. And I kept it private for so many years, but I went to that vote and just started unlocking stuff, and I was just like, that's what it was. I wasn't even sure, because every day was a brand new low. It was hard. It was hard out here for me. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was hard out here for the husband. It was hard for us to come together. And so I thank God for Bishop Nathaniel Isaac. He was our restoration counselor, because it was hard. I mean, I was just like, oh my goodness, I don't know. But for me, though there were times I did not know, and I would pray and I would ask God, and I would say, God, you know I love you. Father, you know I love you. But help my disbelief right now. Help me where I don't believe that we'll make it. Because what I see right now, through my perception, doesn't look like we're going to make it. So trusting God was another point. It was a point of contention. It was a point of challenge. It was a point of peace. It was a point of calm. It was a point of chaos. It was a point of in-depth love. And so me loving God, and then looking at my husband, not just as my husband, because at the time I was like, this ain't who I married to at all. This is an entity. I don't even know who this entity is. I had to pull myself from looking at him as just my husband and look at him like he was my brother in the Lord that had fallen. And so me having to pray for him like that and love him like that began to open up another door of love for him, if that makes sense. So it's the command of God. He's the baby's father, all 3 of them. And now through the promise of God, through praying for him, through watching my prayers get answered and healing take place, I began to fall back in love with him all over again. So was it worth it? Yeah. Are we friends now? Of course. Are we more honest than we've ever been? Of course. Can we talk about anything now? Of course. I even talk about her. To him. And we could laugh about it, because he'd be like, we could talk about anything now. We're best friends again, just like we were before a voice was inserted to say, your wife can't be your best friend. You need men around you. Your wife is your best friend. Your husband is your best friend. Don't let anyone who hates the institution of marriage tell you your spouse cannot be your best friend. So it's very worth it. I'm sure he'll come on. Hopefully we'll load some more content with him on in here, and he could tell his side of the story. We'll probably get some laughs off of that. And we'll probably even do a how we met and where are we now. But I just want to answer that question. Is it worth it? Yes. Was the fight worth it? Yes. Was humbling myself worth it? Yes. And moreover, I look at the worthwhile, and I can say I have become more the woman that God has designed me to be and called me to be now than ever. I have more grace. I have mercy. I can understand mercy now. Like at first it was very like cut and dry, black and white all the time. And I'm still a very truthful person, very honest person, very transparent person. But now I understand to the merciful, you get mercy from God. So I come to understand mercy even better, and treating people with mercy and compassion and love and grace and acceptance, unconditional acceptance. We all need that. And so this is this is a part of me learning how to love not just my husband, but other people that God sends in my path after devastation. To love people, to let them know that Jesus loves them. Let them feel the love of Jesus through a kind gesture, through rubbing someone's hand, looking them in the eyes in conversation, being there, being a source of encouragement. Like, I learned all of that through that. So is it worth it? Yeah. Would I lie to you? No. Would I tell you the truth? Absolutely. So I hope that answers the question. And to tell everyone, fight for your marriage. If you're going through hell, and look, you're married, you're going to go through hell. As soon as the honeymoon phase ends and real life begins, hell starts to bubble up with ideas. But it is okay, and you can make it. You will make it. You both will make it. You'll overcome. You both will overcome. You'll laugh at the devil. You'll laugh at tactics. You laugh at things that have happened. It'll be a distant thing in the future and a reason for your season. So it'll be worth it. It is worth it. I know, if you're going through and you come across this video and you say, man, I just don't see the worth right now. This is not worthwhile. I married the wrong person. They don't see me. They don't love me. Why would I fight for someone that doesn't love me? Or I'm fighting for this person, but they're not receiving the fight. Look, if your spouse is fighting for you, honor them by fighting for them. Don't let it just be a one-sided thing. That's rude. It's prideful and egregious to let love be one-sided. If they're fighting for you, you fight for them. If they haven't given up on you, you don't give up on them. And it will be worth it in the end. I don't care if they showed you Satan every day and you just like, man, my heart is tired. I'm done. I give up and I'm going with Sandy to the moon here. No. If your spouse decides to fight for you, you decide to fight for them. And it will be worth it in the end. Your generations will appreciate you. Think of it like this. You got married to death do you part. That entails growing old together. What do you see when you see yourself growing old? When you're elderly? Your spouse, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, your children, and you're all surrounded. Which story do you like the best? So, with that being said, I hope I answered the question. I love you all, and have a great evening. Bye-bye.